Yeah. Oh my God. So now it's recording.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Okay.
Can you start from the top if you don't mind? Sorry.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So you still see my screen, right?
Yep. Yep. All clear.
Okay, so beautiful 1 degree Leo sun trining with the moon on 0 degrees Sagittarius fire, trining with
Yeah.
Mars domicile on the same degree of your ascendant. I mean, that's fire, you know.
The irony. Yeah.
Oh, and you've got a kite.
Yep.
Oh, and Jupiter is 0 degrees Gemini, 26 minutes, shooting across an opposition to the moon, 0 degrees Sagittarius. That's pretty unique, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a trine in fire, so grand trine in fire with a kite, and Jupiter at the top of the kite.
Yep.
Moon at the bottom. So, wow, man, that's a standout. That's nice. That's what you call essential dignity. Pluto as well, domicile. So, yeah, that's the action man that you are. Probably, very sporty, athletic, perhaps, martial arts. Mars on that ascendant. That really is an asset.
I taught myself like the whole martial arts and thing. I actually am self-taught, self-trained. Yeah. Just put that out there.
In what kind?
Freestyle essentially. Like street fighting. Ironically, it ties in with my character. Yeah. I'll send you a clip after the irony. I'll show you that to do with fire.
Yeah.
I'll show you. Anyway, let's continue.
Okay, so that's your personality as well. Aries rising. Aries rising being your outer self, your ego, the personality, the mask, the body. I call the rising sign the earth sign because it is. So really, what you have is a sun sign, a moon sign, and I would call it an earth sign, because that is the sign that will give you your features, your look, your body. It's your body. And we are both, so I'm Aries by sun with a Leo rising.
Contrast. Yeah.
Right, and you're a Leo by sun with an Aries rising, and you can see your Aries forehead. You can see the ram right there, man. John Lennon, who was Libran, he has an Aries rising, and he looks. You can see the ram, the ram-shaped head. So good. That's good. That's sometimes confronting as well. Having Aries rising, it is a very confronting. There are signs that are. So the rising sign is what people see when they meet you. That's the sign they see if they understand astrology or not. They get that energy. It's channeled from your rising sign. This is why it's
confronting. Is it sort of intimidating in a sense, or?
well, yeah, it's martial, and you've got Mars there, dignified, which means he's domiciled and dignified, and it's pretty good, you know. Like the moon being in Sagittarius is probably not a fan of fire. The moon is never a fan of fire, but that's what you've got, right? So, but the sun is domiciled, so that's 5 points of essential dignity. Mars, another 5 points, and these guys are going to be interesting to talk about when we get to it. Yeah, so this is pretty good. Jupiter anywhere around the second house is good for work ethic, family values in general. Some people get very rich with Jupiter in the second house. Generally they find stability. Yours is unfortunately in Gemini, which is its detriment. So, you know, there would be a lesson. This is very significant, being at the top of the kite, indicating, you know, direction, and where you can be more expansive. Jupiter is generous, Jesus, you know, Jesus. So there's a detriment, but again, if wherever Jupiter is, in whatever house it's in, it's going to be good. Yeah. The rays of Jupiter, because Jupiter is the only planet that is hot and moist, right? It's the only planet or luminary that is hot and moist. All the others are not. Venus, the lesser benefic, is warm and moist, so that's why that's good. Warmth and moisture is good. Heat and moisture is good. See, Saturn is cold and dry, right? There's no planet, there's none of them, no other one that is what Jupiter is, which is of the best of the humours. The active humour of heat and the passive humour of moisture. Yeah, so with heat and moisture you grow gardens. With cold and dryness you don't grow gardens. So that's the kind of light that Jupiter brings into that house, the best. All right, Jupiter's the greater benefic. So, but he's going to be challenged, I think helped, because he's at the top of the kite, and look at it as, you know, a good placement for Jupiter, if he's going to have to be in Gemini, to be in the second house, where you can be expansive in your value systems. You know.
What did you mean by helped? Precisely.
Sorry?
You said helped. What do you mean by that?
Helped? I forget.
Oh, you said something about challenged and helped or something.
Yeah, that was way back. Sorry, brother.
That's fine.
Uh, interesting, Uranus is right on your Jupiter now as well. So these transits, these are like beginnings of cycles, right? So you've got a Uranus return on your Jupiter, you know. So that's interesting. This is interesting too. Saturn and Neptune in Aries, they're already in your first house. So, because it's close enough to the ascendant to be considered to be in the first house. So this is going to be a bit of a interesting, I don't know, 16 years ahead. Oh no, Neptune, yeah. So Neptune's going to be transit in your first house, and they're right now they're applying to your Mars, which means, well, Saturn is restriction. Remember, cold and dry. You don't grow gardens with cold and dry. So probably some restrictions on your actions, but then Neptune, hopefully not retrograding. Oh, yes, he's retrograding. So, yeah, probably when Neptune goes direct. I don't know how well Saturn and Neptune really get along. I don't think they do, really. It'd be like, see, Neptune will be an octave of Venus, and Venus and Saturn, no. Good in many ways, but not considered traditionally as a benefic aspect. So, but it'll be interesting because Neptune going through this house will bring you Neptunian things, right? Psychic things. Neptune is a higher frequency of love than Venus, so love of higher principles. Yeah, so I think what I was saying before was having Jupiter in the second house is good for your value systems. You know, when we're when we're young, you know, we don't sometimes value things. You know,
Right.
everyone as they grow older, their value systems change, right? So having that energy there is good for that. Venus in Gemini, so this is your IQ, you could say, and this would be like your EQ. Here is your intelligence, right? Communication skills, intelligence, your thinking style, your community style, how you treat your brothers and sisters, your neighbours, right? So, third house, third sign, Gemini. So, you're very lucky because your cusps, even in Placidus system, they're all in there. The cusps all line up. So first cusp, first sign, second sign, third sign. There you see Cancer, Leo, Virgo. They all of them, every single one of them, they line up. And this can only happen if people have an Aries rising.
Huh.
Yeah. So that's the other special thing about having an Aries rising. It not only does it make you like an action hero and like want to be a role model, you know, brave, courageous, stubborn, selfish. Sometimes, you know, in their lower nature, and then when they grow older, they're more inclined to be alone, you know, solitude.
Huh.
Yeah, so yeah, where was I going with that? Yeah, so that's nice to have the cusps lining up. Now, so the fourth house, so this is interesting, you know, I think the first degree of Leo is very telling in the fourth house. So this is the house of your ancestry, right?
Okay.
So usually this is, and Mercury here, interesting. It's very telling. So Leo is the king. All right, so perhaps you are like, I don't know, from, you know, some kind of noble lineage, if there is.
Yes. Oh, I need this kind of confirmation. It all aligns. I need to send you something later. Yeah, and then you can listen to it at your leisure. Let's continue. Oh my God, this is crazy. Anyway.
Yeah, well, and as well, this is good for people who like to be alone at home. You know, this is, if your sun is in here, that means your spirit, your intellect, your will, and all of those things are all, you know, generally best spent in your home, you know. So like having your home as a haven instead of, you know, a shithole. You know, there are people who live in, you know, in these awful suburbs and there's noise and stuff like that, right? So, well, that's time to move out and get a really nice place. So, so, you know, but Jupiter transiting there right now is good. Really, it's really sweet, and Venus is tagging along and catching up. Venus will be up with Jupiter soon, and that'll be nice because that will give you comfort in the home and good prosperity for the duration of this transit. So, fifth house is empty but strong. So the empty houses are like, they don't have conditions, primary conditions, but they have secondary conditions, okay? So what's the secondary condition? Because it's empty. Well, the first condition is the fire of Leo, okay? So that's enough information about the fifth house. And then the second is the ruler of Leo, which is the sun. So if the sun is in an angle or a cardine, it's generally considered to be strong, right? And the cardines are the AC, the IC, the DC, and the MC, okay? So it's strong, it's good. So this is the house of pleasure, your heart, your desires, your hobbies and recreational practices, your romance. It's a real fortunate house. And opposite the 11th is also fortunate. So this is the axis of fortune, and then the 12th and the 6th is the house of, this is the evil axis. Okay, or the malefic. So it's interesting, we both have the North Node in the 12th house. So that's interesting. Now, so yeah, this is good. This is your heart. This is your pleasure and romance, and it's strong because of its sun being in a cardine. Okay.
Yep.
So this is good for children as well. This is the house of children, right? So children bring joy, they bring pleasure. All right, so we've got, let me get that changed.
Okay, very fascinating, because I recently came aware, or was made aware, that my great-grandfather, who's essentially a spirit guide of mine, I realized for entirety of my life, is at very least tied in with royalty. So there's irony in that, because there's always this title that I carried, Petto di Ferro. So when I was a kid, my father patted my chest, just my age of understanding, and he explained it that his grandfather did the same for him. So it's Petto di Ferro. But ironically enough, through synchronicity, right, I came to realize it was always intended to be Principe di Ferro this entire time. Oh, crazy stuff.
So, what's that about?
Yeah.
How did you find that out?
Oh, through a family friend medium, she essentially confirmed it. But I'll send you the specific link later, because I've been to personal readings, but online they have what's known as general readings. So it's always, I felt like I've always been like guided by the divine or my great-grandfather's spirit guide, where, I don't know, you go on YouTube and you see something that leads to another. And yeah, just earlier on, I believe this year, right? A prime example is I pay attention to number plates, because it all ties in with synchronicity and quantum depth. So prior to it, I was told that I needed to move, right? And move we did. Like, so a opportunity presented itself and we moved. So I'm in an apartment now that's 45. And through Chaldean numerology, I found out that my great-grandfather, Sebastiano Ganci, is 45. And ironically enough, I reside, there's Victoria Street, and then there's ironically a Hill Street. It's literally called Hill Street, that you walk up and it leads to Princess Street. Now, Princess Street, walking down, there's like a McDonald's. Ironically enough, I've seen a car that was 555. Then I returned home and I came across this general reading. Next thing I know, it's like, oh, a 5 gets pulled, like a 5. I don't know if you're too familiar. You're familiar with tarot, right? You have the major arcana and all that. It was like 555, and then there was another 5, 4 5s. And then when I calculate, so I listened to it the next day, just to keep it short, I saw the car again, 555. Then I saw this number plate saying surety. Parked outside the house, I kid you not, that royal blue door and for gold and 37 gold, which I found out in Chaldean numerology. My name, Stefan Italia, actually is 37, and that ties into Royal Star of the Bull. I made so many ties to royalty, I'm like, what the hell? When I first, because, Logan, shout out to Logan, Decode Reality, I went into it, and I'm like, okay, Iron King, 15, 11, 26. My name's Stefan, 26. That ties in directly with Iron. Then I add in my surname, Italia. So then you have the 26 and the 11 makes the 37. I'm like, what the hell? Yeah. Anyway, let's continue.
Yeah, okay, so Mercury as well, the ruler of the sixth house, unconditioned. So, but your south node is here. Okay, so so the south node denotes what you have fulfilled and achieved, and the north node is what you are becoming, achieving, doing. So this is the house of self-improvement, service to others, ill health. It does have to do with misfortune as well, less so than the 12th house. And it's, you know, pretty much uninhibited unless you consider transits bumping over your south node. So which you don't have at the moment. But I'm looking at the sun here. It's interesting, you have your sun now is climbing, rising, so, and Jupiter is good, rising as well at this point. So you're going to get some uphill action by Venus, Jupiter, Mercury, Sun, and Mars. So that's going to be up. So that's up and forward time. Yeah, and then this side is, you know, taking stock of things and resting. So I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah, Mars, yeah, that's it. So Mars is just about to get into Libra, and it's going to be opposite your Saturn. So this is going to be tricky for you, okay? Mars does not like Libra, so this is happening.
I like
yeah. Hey?
I like a good challenge.
Yeah. So, some action for you coming?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bad way or neutral or everything in
No, just because it's opposite Saturn, it's going to be a bump to you. This is taking a direct hit at you. Like, this is going to be giving you lessons, right? These guys just bumping into your jumping into your first house, right on Mars. But Mars opposite in Libra in a few weeks. Like, I mean, no, wait a minute. Gee, 10 days. Yeah, no, on the 8th. Yeah, on the 8th. Generally, and even for you, it's going to be for the whole world, it's going to be a big day. The 8th of the 8th, yeah, it's going to be big.
We are the 3rd now, so 5 days time. Well, for me it's the 3rd, so 5 days time. Oh wow.
Yeah.
We're mentally prepared for that then.
Yeah. See, it's just these planets bring their frequencies into the houses that they are transiting. And this is why all the events in your life are occurring.
Well, not to cut you off or anything, but as soon as this year hit, I felt this massive shift. Like all the baggage of the past, I was literally made to release, whether I liked it or not. It was insane. What they call going through a dark night of the soul. Yeah, I literally went through the dark night of the soul. Major pain of loss finally subsided.
Yeah, well, look, that that may have to do with a transiting planet coming through your 8th house, because your 8th house is looking pretty good. Like the moon is a happy moon when it's in the 8th house.
Yeah.
It's on the cusp, but it's still, you know, I guess I see it as being pulled in by the lot of fortune, because this here is a symbol of both. It combines three things: the ascendant, the sun, and the moon. So the earth, the sun, and the moon. That's why it's the symbol of the earth. But it's called the lot of fortune. So the moon would be pulled in by that into the 9th house as well. So, well, anyway, what I'm saying about that is that all of this is your spirit. This quadrant here is the spiritual quadrant, right? So, yeah. So the 7th house is astrology, divination, philosophy, health. This one is occult knowledge, sexuality, deep investigating, healing, death, rebirth. And so again, this is the student, the guy who investigates. So there's occult knowledge to be found here. And you've got Pluto domiciled. Okay, so you've got you've got three dignified planets: Pluto, Mars, and Sun. So you've got three. Remember that. So see, these retrograding planets, Neptune is clearly in the 10th. But so these old boys, these are all old guys, you know, granddaddies. So being up here is interesting, okay? So yeah, this brings you up into the 10th house of the king and the 9th house of the priest. Okay, so here is the occult student, here is the astrologer and the diviner, here is the finder of wisdom, and here is the king.
Wow.
Yeah, so these old boys indicate that retrograde is like in a sense going in within. Those planets are going within. They're retrograding, so they're going backwards. They go, you know, it's like pulling away. So, you know, that shows that there's a lot of energy going into this. You being the priest, and then the king in time.
Yeah.
Right? So yeah, so indicating in you know, in the latter part of your life, right? Or that you may actually be that before you get old, because these planets also have to do with like repeat. It's like a something for you to do better, achieve at. So, because like when a planet is direct and going forward or fast, that's when they're channeling their energy according to their frequency, right? So if they're retrograding, they're withdrawing that energy, right? So it's like withdrawing within. So yeah, and your lot of fortune is there, which is really great, man. I like this. You know, I don't see anything as being good or evil. So
Good or evil? So what? Neutral? What? What's that?
I don't see anything as good or evil, even though there certain houses are denoted as good houses and evil houses, right? So, so yeah, that's the 10th house is sitting pretty with Neptune there. The higher frequency of Venus in Capricorn, grounded. So you have a cardinal, all your angles are cardinal. So again, that speaks a lot about yourself, right? So the cardinal people are starters. They have the energy of initiating. Okay, the fixed signs on your angles. Those people are like. So if you liken it to Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, cardinal fixed mutable is just that: the creator, the preserver, and the destroyer. So, so if one starts things, the other one just preserves things, and the third destroys that or changes that. So yeah, you're a initiator, you know, and the fixed would make you more the people who just keep things stable and cooperate with the initiators and the other people on their other side. The mutables or the cadent houses, they are about change, right? So those people are more flexible. They finish things well. Those people experience more. Those people experience more polarity in experiences than the others, because they're more willing to take risks. So now I don't know why I went down that path, because I was talking about the 11th house, I think, was I?
I believe
anyway,
so.
Yeah. Anyway, it doesn't matter because so the 11th house is good. Saturn. Okay, so the 11th house is not so good in my opinion. I have to be brutal. So the cusp is on Mercury and Venus. Okay, so that's a bit of a savior there, Mercury and Venus being in the terms and in the faces. So, but Saturn being in the ruler of Aquarius, kind of, to me, gives this sort of an empty energy or stagnation. So that's the social house and friends. It's also the house of aspirations, and it's a wealth house. It has to do with wealth. Yeah.
That have impacted me early on in my life? Or does it tell you like which stages of my life impacts what, or not really?
Well, the ruler of that planet is retrograding in a fire sign, in a cadent house. They're conjunct Uranus. Boy, we have to talk about that. Oh my, that Uranus-Saturn conjunction. So that's Kronos and his father, Uranus. Oh boy, in the terms of Mars, in the face of Saturn in Sagittarius. Dang. So why I'm pointing that out to you is because now that is conditioning this house. It's a secondary condition. And that could indicate that, you're very selective with your friends and whatever you do socially. There will be challenges with that kind of Saturnian energy, but Aquarius, remember, is very, very friendly. So, but it's an empty house, brother, and there's more room to play with when they're empty. You see, because
that's a good thing.
Well, it's neither good or bad. It's neutral, but it doesn't have a particular condition in there. So, I see those houses as houses where people are not directing a lot of energy or don't have a lot of what they call dharma to perform. So it's not really a thing to point out in the chart that is salient, unless you have a particular question. Then it is important, you know. And then the 12th house has got the North Node in there, which is another one of the, I would call, spiritual houses, really. Remembering the higher mind, the universal mind, access to that. Awakening instead of being woke. Yeah, well, that's what they call your purpose. Why did I come to this earth? Where should I direct my energy? So, you know how people talk a lot about, I had ambitions and aspirations to do this, but I got diverted by such and such a thing. Well, they generally always, most people that are trying to improve themselves, they generally find the direction that they should be channeling their energy. So a lot of people waste a lot of time in their life if they don't know where their North Node is, because they may be putting too much energy into something that is not really fulfilling their, giving them satisfaction.
Yep.
why are people not satisfied? Well, because they're channeling energy over that way, political parties over that way, religious ideologies over that way. You know,
Not one clear direction.
huh?
Not one clear direction, in other words.
Yeah.
Scattered.
Huh?
Just scattered. Like not one clear direction. Like
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. That's why astrology is so important, because it's like a blueprint of your electromagnetic conditioning, constitution. You know?
Right.
The stuff that you're made of, how you think, feel, love, live. It's all in the chart, right? So a lot of people don't get satisfied because they were told by their parents that you'll be fulfilled if you get educated and go to college and then become a doctor and do what your grandpa and I did, and 40 years later they're miserable.
Of course. Haven't fulfilled their true life's purpose and stuff. Yeah, what do you expect?
Yeah, so in other words, for you, for example, if you pursued your career as the ambition of, you know, your life, well and good, you will succeed with Neptune there for sure. But it won't give you satisfaction. You know? What will give you satisfaction is spending your energy there. So, like me, I've got the North Node in the 12th house, and syncretism is really the only thing that gives me pure bliss.
Yeah.
Apart from music.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, for me, one of my aspirations is to become an actor. But there's a specific reason and purpose that I've come to realize. And that's because I essentially, you know, I come to realize I'm born to play a particular role, part. Only me. No one else deserves it, you know? But other than that, pursuing acting, and I'm not really all that interested. It's like the spirituality, what I can tap into, if I can teach it to others. Yeah, I'd be more going down that path, especially these past 5 years, you know, lockdowns there. I really started to dive in to seeking answers, or being guided to answers more like. But yeah, that's incredible. So your actual birth chart can indicate if you're like from potentially descended from royalty or something, is it? Just to go back on that.
Yeah, of course.
That's incredible. Half.
Yeah.
It all
Having
lines.
this, well, I don't know. I just put Leo Sun in the 4th house. If it was any other sign, maybe Cancer. See, Cancer's the queen and Leo's the king. I just saw that. That's all I saw, and I thought, you know, maybe something notable of your, you know, people of noteworthy who have contributed. You know, who have been decent people, maybe, you know, honourable. Leo's all about honour and honesty. Generally, they are very, very honest people as well, Leo. So you've got a lot of strength in your sexual body there, brother. Scorpio in the 8th house, and Pluto. And Moon sharing a little bit there of her energy. So maybe some healing powers that you need to develop. You know, water, Pluto, water, Scorpio. It's a water house. So, yeah, it's a pretty good chart, man. It's dignified. You've got 3 planets that are essentially dignified, which gives you 15 points.
Yep. No more denying. I truly am a prince. That's it. I've got all the answers now. That's incredible. One thing leading me to another.
What do you mean you're a prince?
Because my great grandfather, I was told, Reale and stuff, and with royalty and stuff like that. And then, after I'll send you what I'll send you. But then, the whole Petro de Ferro, right? Spiritual wise, that came extension from my great grandfather. Because I didn't expect it. My father just randomly, when I was a kid, one day just Petro de Ferro. And, to do with the synchronicity, I came across a specific number plate, right? Just recently. I couldn't believe it. It was parked on Hill Street and it had P, right? So it's in the green P, green and the white. And then it had D, as in DI, right? So D. And then it had the number 24, which I already knew, tied in Chaldean numerology. Ferro is, so iron in Italian is ferro, that's 24. And Vegeta is also 24, to coincide. And then, so you have the I there, and then you have the Q and the Z, which is crazy. And the number plate was yellow, and it was, of all things, New South Wales. Freaking nut. New South Wales number plate here in Victoria. I think someone was just working. Anyway, what's crazy is I have a ex-colleague turned friend, and now I see him as a big brother. So massive shout out to you. He recently wrote a book, right? And not to promote or self-promote, whatever. And it's called Dragon Fruit Turning Life Around. And he put the initials, right? IQZ. Of all things on that number plate, you had the D, as in like Petro de Ferro or Principe de Ferro. And then you had IQZ, just tying all together. So I put PD24 in Chaldean numerology. It came to a freaking 37, I kid you not. I put the entirety of it, 45. Anything that's 45 ties directly with my great-grandfather who, through going to mediums, my spirit guide has been literally guiding me this entire time, the left as opposed to my right. My father screwed up. He went to the left. And then, I'm supposed to the right. There's palm reading. So I've been through the ringer in terms of, okay, let's put this to the test. Let's put that to the test. That sort. Like, for example, this year hit Dark Night of the Soul. Walking down Princess Street, nighttime, I was returning, from being Prince of Dance. Random shooting star, I just happened to look at the right side corner. Random shooting star just comes flying past. I type in shooting star in Chaldean numerology, of course, 45. If that doesn't indicate enough. And this year's a 2025. What's 20 plus 25? Freaking 45. Do you see where I'm coming from, Maestro?
Mm-hmm.
It's insanity and a half. Anyway, let's continue. And it's 37 when I look at the clock now. Holy hell.
All right. Well, look. What are you looking to know?
Questions. All right, we got the royalty confirmation out of the way per se. Okay, more into the romance and stuff. It's been a literal struggle the entirety of my life. For example, when I was a kid, and kids would go, "Oh, girls have cooties." I always tried to attract a girl. I think I've got too much sunlight. Maybe I'll close my blind. Give me 1 second. I'll keep talking. And just my entirety of my life, it's like no girl was really interested. Didn't matter. Like, I tried dating apps. I changed. Like, I have long hair, short hair. Description here, there, nothing. Like, the only hits would be the ones that I wouldn't find myself attracted to. Single mother and whatnot. And it always felt like it was akin to a curse, I kid you not, like somewhat akin to Beauty and the Beast. You know, me, they say, oh, you know, bello, handsome and stuff, and yet attraction and stuff. What the hell am I doing wrong? Stuff like that. And whereas my papa, when he was a kid, he had different times maybe, but when he was a kid, he told me stories. The girls would flock to him. He came here when he was 21. He traveled all of Australia, right? And the girls proposed to him of all things, but he refused to settle down. He ended up here in Melbourne, and he went to the railway, right? Foreman. Now, the funny thing, railway in Italian is ferrovia. You have freaking ferro in there, right? So it's like iron way. And then I type in counter numerology. Ferrovia is 32. My papa's name was Salvatore, that's 32. By extension, it was Sebastiano, great-grandfather Sebastiano, 32, you know? It's like freaking tie-ins with iron is crazy. My rising is with Aries, that's Mars, iron. Stefan, 26, freaking iron. My papa, Salvatore, it means savior in English, essentially, right? Specific spelling, 26, bang, iron. My mother, so, you know, her legal name's Teresina because my grandfather screwed up, went to the birth registry, instead of saying Teresa, Teresina. I think Teresa's 20, but Teresina comes to a 26. 26, bang, iron. Her maiden name is Alto, is 15. Italia is 11. You combine the two together, 26, bang, iron. It's, you know, crazy. So many tie-ins to iron and everything in between. My own personal strength and stuff inherited from my great-grandfather at the title nickname of Petto di Ferro, but yeah. Anyway, let's I mean, I can ask more questions, or yeah. If you have any questions for me, by all means. Anyway, if you do end up watching this on YouTube, I'm joined by the great Santos Bonacci, who's all expertise when it comes to syncretism and astrophysiology. So I'll link his channels, respective channels, and by all means, go check him out. And yeah. Okay, you have any questions for me?
Okay, so you're gonna let people see your chart.
Yeah. Is there anything? Is there?
Okay. All right. Yeah. Now, let me just finish by answering your question about romance. So, the iron bit. Well, you've got Mars on the AC, right? So in Aries, whereas Venus in Gemini doesn't do too bad in Gemini, but Venus is in a cadent house, right? So 20, yeah, pretty much opposite Saturn, but wide orb. But that's not a good thing because it is still opposite Saturn, right? So that's the restriction, brother. You know, perhaps rather than showing an iron exterior, bring in some copper. You know, you have to probably create the frequency of copper, more copper in your life. Like I wear a lot of copper because why? Because yeah, I'm very martial, Aries, you know. Yep. And so yeah, I need it to keep me more passive, right? Okay, Stefan.
All right. Okay. Yep. Definitely been an absolute pleasure. And yeah, I can't pick the questions up. If you have any other further questions.
No, that's good. It's okay.
Anyway, I'll send you that respective link, and then you can pick it up for yourself and see how things truly align.
Okay. So when you turn off the recording, have you turned off the recording?
Not yet. But yeah, well, I'm gonna do it now. But if you like, if it pleased you, subscribe if you did desire for more. And I'm not going to mince words, but